we have something totally special with the 2003 Stitch the movie, the immediate sequel from Lilo and Stitch 2002. Everyone's excited. Lilo and Stitch finally gets this live action treatment that Disney's been doing. It's almost like a franchise of its own within the spectrum of Disney entertainment. Lilo and Stitch is going to be live action, but leading into that, for Animation Saturday, for Animation Sunday, get that bowl of cereal. We're talking about the animation epic. That's the movie, its direct sequel, which is this, and this ignites one heck of a science fiction story. We have to talk about it.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people don't consider Lilo and Stitch science fiction. To them, it's just it's a venue to sell you a plush toy, a blue plushie toy, which would be Stitch. There's a lot to dissect with this Stitch the movie. From what I can tell, and some of my research is limited, this was a backdoor into the TV series. Now, the TV series, roughly 70 episodes, 2003 to 2004. The final film, 2006, could be Leroy and Stitch. So what they did was, Lilo and Stitch comes out in 2002. Now, during the production of that, they must have known it was testing amazingly well. They must have known that there's a hit on their hands. Because relatively a year later, we get Stitch the movie that expands the entire lore of this universe. Stitch, aka, is experiment 626. We have a power struggle of the people that created Stitch and the people part of the program that created over 600 experiments of destruction. Stitch is designed to be the ultimate weapon. That's why he's as destructive as he is. The animation for this, it's so-and-so. It's what you would expect from a straight to video, straight to DVD. I'm not even sure if this aired on the Disney Channel as a premiere. It very well could have. But it has we can like feel the budget when we're watching this. A lot of the animation cells are shaded, meaning or they're shadowed. So that's a little bit where there's a misalignment in the photography, and you get that in a couple scenes. But overall, again, like, we're expanding the lore, and this movie acts as a pilot episode for the Stitch TV series. And the Stitch TV series is them hunting down the other 600 experiments. This is one of the best ideas I think I've ever seen. It's one of the immediate universe expanding moves that Disney has ever done for any of their franchises. This includes anything with Star Wars and anything with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The thought that this dysfunctional family that's Hawaiian, that listens to Elvis, Leroy here, who just has trouble. She has an affliction. It's hard for her to make friends and be likable amongst her classmates. From that to start there and leapfrog into a hunt. We gotta catch them all. We gotta hunt down every single one of these Stitch experiments. That's what this movie sets up. And along the way, we get more character-defining moments. Namely, Pleesky. That's our like wobbly, rubbery, green, cycloptic alien played by Kevin McDonald. He is this character, and it seems like the more that we see Lilo and Stitch moving forward. Kevin McDonald is a little bit more prominent because his voice acting is that good. It's a fantastic character. What they're hunting down in this movie. So essentially, one of their doctor friends, Dr. Jacobia, I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. This is the doctor that opens the trial, basically that opens the Lilo and Stitch movie. In this movie, he's the plot. He's the MacGuffin. He's who they have to rescue, and he's held captive by maybe, in my opinion here, the one character that doesn't fit, and it's Hamster Von. It's an evil hamster, white hamster, because he's got to be white. Pun intended there, guys. And he kind of has like a superhero cape, and he has this, he's almost like he's got like a German Stitch accent. Either way, he's evil. He needs one of these experiments that escaped onto Earth. So I believe it's experiment 625, which is a electricity version of Stitch. So what we get here, for anyone that's a fan of Gremlins 2, the new batch, Stitch the movie is that idea, and it goes into I gotta catch 'em all plot point, which they hit home, and they end the movie with this. It's a perfect pilot for the series because you immediately want to start watching the series. It's fantastic, aka Padders, and I believe this is between, right? So we get the movie, we get the backdoor pilot, Stitch the movie, but then we get Lilo and Stitch 2, and that is during the arc of the entire series of the TV series. And then at that point we get Leroy and Stitch, and I believe Leroy and Stitch chronologically takes place between the first movie and this movie. So this is number 3 in a chronological order. It's number 2 of the release. Yes, it gets confusing, but AKA Padders, in a few short years, they did what the geeks love. They did what the nerds love, which is they expand this universe so quick. They go forwards and backwards, and they fill in spots very quickly. And then all of a sudden, it's like bang, we get this mosaic or like this kaleidoscope of movies, TV series, like just content. And it's fun sometimes to watch everything and piece it together. The only flaw in this is the time crunch and the money spent for it. But I will say, the sequel movie is of a higher class animation where we're kind of like it's like the next budget level up. If you really want to lay out what the budgeting looks like, you can watch Stitch the movie. That's your bottom. Then it's Lilo and Stitch 2, and then it's Lilo and Stitch. If you really want to look at the tiers, to me it's amazing there hasn't been an animated theatrical release for Lilo and Stitch, because as I was talking about in my previous episode, it's it's very popular with the merchandise. And then you're introducing this concept of 600 other experiments. I wonder if they represented all 600. You kind of want to say enough time has passed for them to reveal. And I'm talking about if you put together like some of the children's books, the comics, the manga, everything we get with the video production and the TV series. That like, do we have we identified all 600 genetic experiments? And along the way, we get this redefinition of Stitch in this like Earth, like Stitch in this Earth realm, which is he's tolerated. Everyone's going along with him looking like a dog gag, which is like pretty much from Alf, if you guys remember that TV show. They would always say Alf was like a funny looking dog. We all knew him as an alien. So there's a bunch of overlap here, and it's very similar to in Family Guy, where people address Brian as Brian, or they treat him like a dog, and it crosses over, and it's super funny when they do it the right way. But yeah, we have the introduction of Leroy, which is another experiment that loves cheese, and we have what is a Sparky, I believe. I forget the name of the electricity. Maybe he's experiment 221, but maybe it is glitch. Let me see here. I can't find it, but at the same, it does it doesn't matter. It's super cool that they have to hunt down this electricity yellow version of Stitch that is very reminiscent to Gremlins the New Batch. All right, AKAPADers. This is fun. This is me exploring. Oh, Sparky, aka Sparky. Yeah, again, like an instant universe expanding 1 hour experience that I just, again, like, you gotta put yourself in the shoes sometimes of the kids that would be watching this, because if you're into it and you immediately see, and then like they start releasing plushes and action figures, and maybe like even like a trading card game or something, right? Like your head starts to spin, you start to get excited. Yeah, everyone, a little bit of your summary, but also a full recommendation for Stitch the movie is available right now on Disney Plus, and I believe everything I've been mentioning is there, which is great, because Disney has been doing that sleek editing of what's available on Disney Plus. I have the view that whatever becomes available on a streaming service should never go away. It should always be available. I think that's the exchange. All right, AKAPADers, rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.